Hello and welcome to Enjoy an Album with Liam Withnail and Christopher Macarthur-Boyd. I am one half of those two names and he is the other. Thank you for your continued support and streamage of this here podcast all about music. Christopher, how are you?
Very sad.
Oh.
Jeremiah Green of Modest Mouse has died of cancer at the age of 49. And I am heartbroken.
So he died of cancer. So you went to see them recently?
Yeah.
So
45 actually. It's only 45.
So he would have been presumably either experiencing the treatment or unaware of the condition at that point for it to be so fast. So you went to see him within the last year. You went to see him in Manchester.
Yeah, I saw them in Manchester when I was doing the Frog and Bucket.
Yep.
Opened that show, nipped down, and I had a ticket. Got a ticket for free.
Yep.
On the door. One of the best shows I've ever seen.
And in a beautiful old church or something, was it?
Yeah, it's in an old church. Phenomenal drummer. One of the best drummers. And he's dead of cancer. And he was honestly so good.
I've not really listened much to Modest Mouse, so maybe
I was thinking maybe as a Patreon, just as an episode, we might listen to Lonesome Crowded West.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely stunning record.
And a good example of his fantastic drumming?
There's a song called Trucker's Atlas that's all built around. And there's a song called Styrofoam Boots. It's All Right on Ice, I think it's called. And it's like an acoustic song. But then halfway through, the drums come in.
Is it like, in brackets, on ice, the way they do like Disney movies?
All nice.
Like it's
all nice.
Hercules, on ice.
All right.
Beauty and the Beast, on ice.
Please be respectful to the dead.
It's a comedy podcast, on ice.
We're not being funny.
We're going to do Enjoy an Album on ice at the
I actually
Edinburgh
showed
Festival.
a lot of restraint with this episode. Very sad life. And I didn't bring up any.
Okay, I want you, the listener/viewer, to remember Christopher's promise of his restraint holding within the first few minutes of this podcast, where he makes several jokes about Santa.
Doesn't matter what anybody's doing, right? I just want to apologise to you, the listener. I just want to apologise
Hold
to
on to
you.
that.
I forgot to do Tattoo Woohoo.
Yeah.
Tattoo Boohoo, a segment we do every week where we discuss. So I'm going to do that now in the intro.
Okay, this is Nina Simone's Tattoo Woohoo or Tattoo Boohoo. Do we need to do the theme? Yes.
With two guys reviewing tattoos, we're gonna Google it and search, and then we'll choose if it's Tattoo Woohoo or Tattoo Boohoo. We're judging the ink, yeah, that's what we do. Full speed or face, that's a big skull away. Bet you pick the design, is it bad or just fine? A dragon or a skull, pretentious or no? You cannot hide, and we will decide if it's Tattoo Woohoo or Tattoo Boohoo, yeah.
Okay, so what we got?
Nina Simone does not have any tattoos, unfortunately, so we're not going to be able to do this segment this week. But thank you very much for clicking and liking.
I think that you know when they don't have tattoos and you do the theme, I think that's funny when it's in the episode, but to make us then retroactively add the bit into the intro because we forgot to do it for them not to have tattoos verges on taking the piss.
Disagree. I just want to show respect to the viewer who comes in every week and listens.
In every week. We've got one viewer every week who sits in the corner of the room watching. It's weird, actually.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, I just wish they'd wear clothes.
Don't mind.
Right, coming soon to the Enjoy an Album multiverse is our Patreon.
Is it not launched now by the time this comes out?
Let me do some quick maths in my head. No, I don't think so.
Okay, sick.
Coming very soon is the Enjoy an Album Patreon. For a nominal fee every month, you get
A nominal fee?
a nominal fee. You get 2 extra episodes. You get 24-hour early release. You get to vote on which albums we should cover. You get a personal chat with Christopher or by phone once a week. He'll call you. You can discuss your problems with him. You can talk about what you like with him, really. You get 5 minutes uninterrupted conversation.
We will do a Tattoo Boohoo on you if you want.
If you want.
I haven't discussed that.
We'll also do cock ratings if you want to send.
We do cum tributes, cock ratings, feet pics, femdom, kingdom of God.
So yeah,
we will join your church if you want.
That's coming soon. Thank you so much for listening. But there's a Manscaped ad coming up. I think enjoy your week. Like, subscribe, all that shit. Enjoy the app. Chat to you soon. Bye. This week's episode is brought to you by our friends at Manscaped, the #1 in below-the-belt grooming. Both Christopher and I have upped our grooming game significantly in the last 2 months. Just before we recorded, we were both admiring each other's nude bodies. Utterly hairless, clean, beautiful.
I'm like a dolphin.
Like a dolphin with a boy's penis.
Which some of them have.
Well, the boy ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, have you ever seen a shark? Never mind, we're going to do an episode. Have you ever seen a shark's penis? It looks crazy. It's like a vagina. And
Really?
then the shark's vagina looks like a penis. And you
Wow.
think, what's going on with these sharks? But regardless, we're sponsored by Manscaped. And you should, it's not just below the belt as well. It's also above the nostril.
I used a nasal hair trimmer for realsies.
On my head as well, in my ear.
Do you get ear hair? So I haven't entered the ear hair stage of my life yet, but I do get.
What do you mean? I'm not older than you. What are you talking about? You're still,
Yeah, but we're all through different stages of our lives. Yeah, but I don't have ear hairs. You do. So we have different stages.
What do you mean? Yeah, did you notice?
Did I notice your ear hair?
Yeah.
No, you just told me that you used it on your ears.
Good.
I used it on my nose, and I was like, "Wow, this shit bangs."
No, but people were saying to me, they were like, "You look like you got a daddy long legs in there, and its legs are hanging out." And now, I mean, I feel
Now,
great.
what are they saying now?
They're saying, "Whoa, your nostrils are so smooth." And I actually have a weird shaped nose that some people bring up to me when I'm drunk and I get angry at them.
Your nose is.
Just the nostrils are kind of like diagonally oval or something, you know? Not nice. I want a round nostril, like all my heroes.
When you have visible nostrils, you don't want hair in there.
Dude, honestly, it was disgusting. People were bringing it up, and then I used this product, and my nostrils have never felt better.
I've spoken before about the I'm wearing the Manscaped boxers today because they are my favorite boxers. They're so comfortable. Whenever I've had a wash done, they're now premium first pair I wear before the next wash gets done. Every single time.
They're in the top 3 for me.
Great. So, hey, how do you get smooth nostrils, ears, and wonderful boxer shorts and a nice trim set of knackers? Well, you get the Manscaped kit. Get it on the manscaped.com. Use our code ALBUM20. You get 20% off. We continue to get sponsored. They continue to pay for the studio. We have a good time all together, okay? One of the best ways you can support your favorite podcast and your own bollocks is by going to Manscaped and using the code ALBUM20. Do it now or after the episode, preferably after the episode.
And also, if you don't have balls and you're a lady, or you're a lady with balls, or a man who doesn't have them, whatever your configuration is, you can use this.
Whatever your configuration is, you can use this. And that's the Enjoy an Album promise.
You're listening to Enjoy an Album, the podcast where 2 comedians listen to some of the greatest albums of all time.
Here is Rolling Stone magazine's introduction to Nina Simone. White people had Judy Garland. We...
That's how it starts.
That's how it starts.
Like gay people had Judy Garland?
White people had Judy Garland. White people had Judy Garland. We had Nina. Richard Pryor once said, Nina Simone's honey-coated, slightly adenoidal... Adenoidal? Do you know that word?
Adenoidal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. To do with the adenoids.
What are they?
It's a throat thing.
Are you improvising? Do you know that?
If you consider knowledge to be improvisation, then yes, I'm improvising.
Slightly adenoidal cry was one of the most affecting voices of the civil rights movement. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free is still heartbreaking, to be young, gifted and black, life-affirming. She could belt barroom blues, croon cabaret, and explore jazz, sometimes all on a single record. I heard her sing a song in French. I didn't even know what she was saying, and I started crying, says Mary J. Blige, who will play Simone in an upcoming feature film. No, she won't. This is an old blurb.
We got cancelled.
It happened.
Oh.
We're going to talk about that in a bit. Then she goes from that to Mississippi Goddamn, singing it like a church record, but she's cursing out the system. Nina could sing anything, period. So this week it is I Put a Spell on You
'Cause you're mine.
by Nina Simone. Audio listeners, I'm currently holding my personal vinyl copy of this record. Coming in already a fan.
Here's how beloved this record is by you. You refused to put a little bit of blue tack on the back to make it visible for the listener.
Yeah, I was going to try and lean it on a picture frame.
And I said, oh, well, you know, I like to blue tack stuff, little coins I have and other pictures, photographs.
Yeah, I'm not sticking blue tack on the back of my nice record. Then you take it off and it peel a bit off with it.
What, are you a landlord?
I'm a vinyl lord.
You're going to lose your deposit on the record?
No, it's just nice to things to stay nice and not be ruined. I have care.
Yes.
I have care for my things.
I always find that the most beloved novels, records, games of mine are all in an absolute state because they're loved, they're pre-loved.
Listen, this gets used a lot, but I want it to be used for a very long time. So
Sorry, they got a wee crease here. No offense.
Yeah, well,
Who did that?
That's some of the pre-loveness that you talk about. But artificial pre-loveness, sticking blue tack on it, are you fucking crazy? I've seen the way you handle your records. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I like to get my little fingies all greasy.
Oh, yuck.
And then get the grease. I like to hear the grease when I put the needle in the groove.
Absolutely yuck. Absolutely yuck. That's what I say. So...
Had you heard of Nina Simone before this week?
Yes. Bit of a Simone head, fair to say. Obviously, Nina Simone is one of these artists that I think you're going to be familiar with due to some of her huger hits, some of which are on this record. So probably properly got into Nina Simone. Actually, it was... I don't know whether or not... I don't know if this is weird to say. It's not weird, but like it was through a girlfriend that I had.
Oh.
Who was really into Nina Simone and would play it all the time. And it was through that, but I don't know if is that like when you're in a different relationship, like, does it kind of mar?
Yeah. What do you mean, does it mar?
Well,
like Andrew Marr?
Does it Andrew Marr with his big fucking gangly arms come in and say, that's weird? No, like, is it, I don't know how I would feel if my partner was like, oh, I really got into this band because of someone else and that someone else is next. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember one of my records, and the record that's in my record player right now is Midnight Organ Fight by Frightened Rabbit.
Yeah, you can't hear it though because it's covered in Cheezo grease.
Don't eat Cheezos because they don't exist. I used to try to say Cheeto. I don't eat them either.
I know Cheezos. It's a Spanish what's it.
Mm-hmm. I eat salt vinegar discos and pickled onion monster munch actually. But I remember that was a kind of first girlfriend record, and then we broke up, and then she phoned me from the gig, and that kind of sullied that album for me for a while. But time heals all wounds. Yeah, I remember. And aren't we all just the tapestry of all our past lovers?
Well, that's it. Not just lovers. I mean, you pick stuff up everywhere, don't you? Okay.
If you're a good person, yeah. You hate litter. You got one of those big claws.
You know what's nice? As I said that, I thought you were going to make some sort of joke about STIs or something, but you actually did a litter joke, and I think that speaks to your style of comedy. Mm-hmm. When there's an obvious sex joke going in, you'll go for the less obvious litter picking gag.
Go for your second thought, guys. Please.
So I've listened to Nina a lot since then, and have this and Pastel Blues on vinyl, and as of Christmas I have the Summer of Soul official soundtrack.
Oh yeah,
documentary I've spoken about in the podcast before about the Harlem Cultural Festival in 1969.
It was lost. Questlove helped to remaster it and put it back out.
He got his litter picker out into the archives and he grabbed all the greasy Cheezo stained.
It's shaped like a dinosaur head at the end. That's how he got it in a museum gift shop.
Have you watched the film yet?
Summer of Love?
Yeah.
No, you've watched
Summer of Soul.
Yeah. Well, I watched Summer of Love.
That's a different thing. This is a different thing.
It was the equivalent. It was like the Black Woodstock, essentially.
And so Nina Simone had performed there, and there's footage of her performing there. So I've got a few records featuring our Nina, as the fans like to refer to her. Yeah. Pretty well versed in the Nina lore. What about yourself? Big Nina head?
I think I had. I was talking about. I downloaded a load of shit when I was a wee guy and put it on my iPod. I definitely liked Put a Spell on You and Feeling Good. I first heard Feeling Good. I don't know if you're familiar with this group. Devon's finest arena prog rock band, Muse.
A Muse prog rock?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Progressive. They opened my eyes to the horrors of MK Ultra when they had that song MK Ultra.
That cover,
yeah,
It's all right.
Feeling good?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I like when he gets the megaphone out in the video. Oh, butterflies are having fun. You know how I feel.
It's a new dawn. It's a new day. Yeah.
All having fun.
It suits Matt Bellamy's voice, that.
It does. I think we might have came to really early to Unhinged YouTube Comment of the week.
Oh, wow. Earliest one ever. But
Earliest.
why the heck not?
Yeah. Okay, so this is from a guy called Jay. This is a
With
two-parter, by the way.
jingle, please.
Unhinged YouTube Comment of the week. This is a two-parter. So first part's from a guy called J. Antonio Martinez 4 years ago. And
English guy, yeah.
yeah. Well, let's find out. The three versions that I know are emotional. Simone, Bubble, and Muse. Each one a piece of a good music. Lo siguiente lo digo en mi lengua materna. Grandes interpretaciones no se contraponen. Según yo no compiten por ser una mejor que otro. Las tres igual de buenas. And then a guy called Dr. Duckland responded 10 months ago. He says, "Who's Bubble? Did you mean Bublé?"
Mickey Bubbles.
Forever fucking blowing Bubblés down there, man. You know? To quote your favourite football team.
Yes.
And I also found a bonus on his YouTube comment from the Michael Bubble video, which has so many people love this song. So this person said, "The song makes me feel like I just destroyed an empire or almost burned down in a village. Makes me feel like I have a god complex or that I'm a villain on the run. This is the vibes and feelings that I get anytime I listen to this. I love it." And that was from Frizzy Fazbear and Friends.
I don't think I've listened to the Michael Bublé version of it.
He really does a number.
Really?
And the video's kind of like a James Bond concept because it's such a...
Cannot forgive Michael Bublé for his cowardice when it comes to Santa Baby. Because Michael Bublé is like, you know, he's released every November for 2 months for Christmas.
Yeah.
And he has a version of Santa Baby in which he says Santa Buddy. Santa Buddy, I'm
not fucking gay tonight.
Yeah, that's it.
It's
He
like,
can't bring himself. It's
just kiss Santa's cock.
just relax.
Just kiss his jingle bell on the end.
Just relax and
sup the pre-cum.
cradle the balls and maintain eye contact.
Just sup the pre-cum. You fucking loser.
And I'm
I'd
feeling
suck Santa's
good.
cock. I'd suck Santa's cock. I'll say it twice. You know the amount of stuff he's done for me? I'd suck his dick. Presents every year that he makes in his lair. Xbox 360 arcade, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2,
Yeah,
Game Boy Advance.
I mean, that's what he's got his elves for,
I'll
surely.
suck their dicks as well.
You have an easier time with that, I think.
Judy Garland phoned me up, right? Anyway, what were we saying? Yeah, he is a coward, Michael
Yeah,
Bublé.
you won't suck Santa's dick.
Do you know Michael Bublé's favourite burger in Scotland?
Go on.
Bread meets bread.
Really?
Yeah, he went when he was playing the hydro. Imagine sitting in bread meets bread. Who's over there? Famous homophobe Michael Bublé.
Yeah, tucking down on a fucking Andouja burger.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really pissed off with bread meets bread just now because they used to have the Canadian burger, which had the burger and then tater tots with poutine in the actual burger. But I'm assuming to cynically drive sales of poutine, they've separated them and now you have to order them separate. And it's fucking disgusting. It makes me sick that they did that to me.
It's just cancel culture rears its ugly head once again. Unbelievable. So Nina Simone. We both watched What Happened, Miss Simone.
Yes, the new Netflix film.
It's not new, it's about 6 years old, longer, I think.
It's the new Netflix. In the grand scheme of the universe, from Big Bang to now, it counts as recent.
Yeah, fair enough too. And that's on Netflix. It's now on 40. It's a documentary about Nina Simone's life. Highly recommended. Excellent documentary.
Mm-hmm.
You watched it yesterday?
I watched it last night with my partner.
Oh, really? What did your partner think?
She'd seen it already.
Oh,
She's
really?
a big Simone head. Turns
Really?
out. Yeah, she loves her.
Oh, maybe she should be here instead of you.
Potentially. I don't think she'd be shouting about sucking Santa's cock with the same fervour, but...
But she would be speaking about it somewhat.
Do we know anybody?
Do we know anybody?
Yeah, really. People are ultimately unknowable, so I don't know what her take on it would be.
Just to clear it, the confusion over Christopher's head is the 2nd of January when we're recording, and I think he's still a little bit fizzy from New Year's Eve.
I had some wine as the bells came in. Shiraz. I feel like Jason Shiraz over here.
It's a good movie. I would highly recommend it. And also,
I wouldn't say it was a good movie. I'd say it was a good film as a filmo.
Right. Okay.
You know, it's not a popcorn churner. You know.
Okay. Do you want to? That's a similar noise to you sucking Santa's dick. I remember. This isn't a film to suck Santa's dick to. I tell you that right now.
No. He will be turning around going, I didn't know that. And you're like, fucking concentrate. I'm trying to make you come. My mouth.
I'm so like. Here's the thing about putting these episodes on YouTube, is that I think
I feel bad for somebody who's in next video this and they go, oh, give it a chance. And
yeah. Oh, I love Nina Simone. Oh, I love that album.
I love Nina Simone. I love Santa.
No, let's just draw a line under
Let's
that.
draw a line under Santa.
We're very sorry, everybody.
As I always say, let's draw a line under it to underline it and draw focus.
I'm very sorry to the Nina Simone fans who've had to come in and listen to this absolute filth.
They know what I'm talking about.
And also, my partner has been reading a book or read a book recently called Nina Simone's Gum, which is by Warren Ellis of Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
He was on the podcast 2 weeks ago.
He was a guest 2 weeks ago. He was dressed as
smells,
Roscoe
man.
McClellan.
He smells.
Dirty
Dirty Warren Ellis, the Dirty Three. Wash and then you just be the three.
What?
He was in the Dirty Three, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he smells.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, dirty old man.
Okay.
Smelly bastards. Anyway, great guy. And I went for a pint with him. He's a good guy.
What has happened to you? Have you lost your mind?
I'm just scared that this is going to be a really dark podcast now. I bring some kind of levity and show respect.
This book by Warren Ellis,
Nina Simone's Gum.
Nina Simone's Gum,
Right.
is about her last show that she played in London. He was there, and he was by the side of the stage. And then she finished, and she went off stage. And then he noticed that there was some chewing gum that she'd taken out and stuck to the top of the piano. So he went and stole it.
Did he put it in his mouth?
No, he didn't put it in his mouth. Stop talking about putting things in people's mouths. He took it and kept it as an artifact for 20 years until Nick Cave put on a museum exhibition, and he gave it to him to put into that.
If you've seen Nina Simone's chewing gum on her piano and you had the chance to take it, would you chew it?
This is the new bop chop test.
You're in Shetland. You're flicking through and you find Nina
Simone has just played at the Shetlands Arts Festival. I'm on next doing a 20. It's a tough gig.
It's weird she's opening for you. But
Who's booked it? Okay,
Yeah.
It's not really opening. It's like a double headliner bill.
Right, yeah.
She's singing some of her later stuff. I'm coming on doing a new 20 in preparation for the Fringe. She leaves a bag of Cheetos and she's chewed one of them, decided she didn't like it, spat it out. Am I keeping it? Yes. Am I chewing it? No.
You're just keeping it in your mouth like a hamster.
No. I'm putting it Warren Ellis style in a glass. In a glass.
How did they get it to the glass though?
Oh, I touched it, picked it up.
Put it in a receipt. I did it
Yeah,
with chewing gum.
yeah. Put it in a bus ticket and then take it away. But I wouldn't chew it.
I think you could steal some of the power.
Still some of the
You
magic.
chewed someone else's gum.
But we live in a post-COVID world. He stole this gum pre-COVID.
She was pre-COVID.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. You see Lord's chewing gum.
Different deal.
Why? Why is that different?
You know why?
You fancy her? Yeah. So you would?
Yeah.
So you don't fancy her?
No.
You don't think you would have fancied
I
her in
respect-
1965?
I respect Nina Simone.
You think if you saw Nina
I
Simone
can't
in
respect someone who
1965,
fancies them at the same time.
if you were at the Montreal pop and jazz
Oh,
festival,
you've made a common mistake there. It's actually the Montreux. It's actually in Switzerland, not in Montreal.
oh shit! I didn't know. I thought they were just spelling it weird for a laugh.
You've really embarrassed yourself there.
I've embarrassed myself there, yeah.
Shall we do a deep dive into the background of Nina Simone?
Secret Posho, secret Posho. You do it fast and it feels like no show. Got no money, you got dosh bro. Secret Posho.
Sort of a noughties indie, posh British indie band. Bombay Bicycle Club kind of version.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you heard about the guy for Two-Door Cinema Club?
No.
He's went like, do you know that guy who left Mumford and Sons to go be an anti-vaxxer?
Really?
He's collaborated with him and then another anti-vaxxer.
Really?
Yeah. Big go. What's that guy
Well,
called?
you heard it here first.
Yeah. I think we should do an episode on Two-Door Cinema Club and get right into
I
it.
used to really like them as well. I loved that
Yeah.
first album when I was at uni.
Andy Field, the singer, I think. No, Andy Field, that's the
He's a comedian.
alternative comedian. He's not an anti-vaxxer that I know of.
Shout out Andy, funny guy.
Very funny guy.
Unless you're unvaccinated, in which case we're not a fan.
Whatever. What were we talking about?
I don't fucking know.
Oh, yeah. Two-Door Cinema Club. Yeah, so basically I just felt uncomfortable. I just want to evolve, you know. I want to take old jingles and reinvent them.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So that's why Secret Posho is different.
Yeah. And I
So-
also feel like that genre is more addled by Secret Posho, you know, your Preston from the Ordinary Boys.
I think let's not write off the OG jingle for
Well,
good.
it's not written off, but it's changed.
Well, yeah, but it often has changed. We can you can mix it up.
You can mix it up. As I say when I'm teaching someone to do a stir fry, you can mix it up.
Nina Simone was from a very poor background. That you can actually see online.
Ooh, no Posho.
Yeah, you can see online the picture of the house she was born in, which is now a museum, Nina Simone Museum. Much like we had that with Muddy Waters as well, I think.
His house is a museum.
His shack. It's more house than shack, so it's a step up from Muddy, I would say, but it's not much of a step up. And she was like, I think, the 6th of 8 children.
Oh, jeez.
Her dad was a barber, much like yourself.
No, I had Barbara hairdresser, but he does both genders. And others.
And a dry cleaner, and his mother was a Methodist preacher. So we've had a few artists like that as well, whose parents were in the church.
You consider that a form of nepotism, nepo baby shit? If someone's
Yeah.
mum is a church person?
It's not a coincidence that we've had so many people whose parents were in the church. Access to a grand piano, please.
What is the
Or
ultimate?
an
Well,
organ.
you get access to an organ / piano, but you also get the blessing of Christ for
Yeah.
worshipping him.
Yeah, you get access to you've got a front row seat to God himself.
Yeah, you're walking along the beach and there's only one footprint sometimes, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Jesus has one leg.
So I think we're saying Nina Simone, Nepo baby. That is a joke. She, just to be absolutely clear, I don't want more arguments in the YouTube comments.
Christ privilege. As an atheist, I have struggled because I don't have.
Oh, here you go, fucking Matty Healy's back. Where's my
No,
rights?
what the fuck has an atheist ever even got? You know, I've got no rights.
Shut up, Matty. Someone made a good asked us a good
Jordan
question.
Kindler. Oh, I thought you were talking about the Jordan on. I posted a picture of me smoking a fag at New Year's Eve because I was first footer, so I had to go out. So I thought I'd smoke a fag and then come back in. And I took a picture of myself smoking a fag. And the 1975 episode hadn't even came out yet. And a guy was like, "You look like a pound shop Matt Healy." And I wish I could say I was offended. I was actually like, "Thanks."
Someone asked what kind of man in his 30s has the name Matty, which I actually have to say, yeah.
What kind of man in his 30 has a stage name that's about Withnail?
Well, you can't really change it. Can't really change it at this point, can I?
Neither can he.
Fair enough. Nina was a natural at the piano. She wowed people in the church who then were basically some local white ladies. She was from the segregated Deep South, by the way, so like pretty much one of the worst places to be born at that time, essentially. Do you know what I mean? As a very poor black woman in the segregated Deep South of America.
Yeah.
But there were some white women at the church who saw how talented she was and decided to take her on and teach her classical piano. She played recitals in the church in order to fund that. The first recital she played she was 12, and her parents were moved from the front of the church where they could watch her to the back of the church with the other black people. And Nina, at age 12, says, "I'm not playing until my parents are sat at the front." So from the beginning, pretty. She has a reputation of being quote unquote racistly difficult.
Yeah.
When actually it's just,
There's a lot of racism with the coverage of it. Everybody's always talking about like, oh, she was good because she was, unlike a lot of jazz singers and R&B singers, she was actually classically trained. So that's what makes her better.
Mm-hmm.
As if it's not to do with her actual talent or brain. It's just the fact that she learned how white people played piano.
And the idea that, being a classical musician as opposed to being a jazz musician is
inherently better.
Because it's a whiter thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's hot take number one.
Hot take.
And I'm going to agree with you. So they did recitals and she auditioned for the Curtis Music School and did not get in. She always said it was because of racism. She wanted to be the first black classical musician.
Not to spoil the story, but at the end of the documentary, it goes 2 weeks before her death. She was,
Curtis gave her an honorary diploma.
Yeah.
And they always said it was nothing to do with racism. Only 3 people got in that year out of 72 applicants.
They should have made an exception for Nina Simone. I don't think that's controversial.
Yeah.
Obviously, she wasn't Nina Simone yet. She was called something else.
I think at that, Eunice, her name was, I think at that point, it's pretty safe bet that it was racially charged because they'd never had a black student.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you see that all through.
Not to draw parallels between myself and Nina Simone.
Please do.
Not to do it.
I'm
not doing it.
Okay, well then we'll move on.
I'm just saying.
Okay, you're going to.
I was not allowed into Stirling University to study journalism because I didn't get the results that I needed.
Yeah, this is
and
discriminatory against stupid people. That isn't it?
Well, here's my issue.
You have to have a certain amount of results.
I'm
to
not
study something.
using this to have a go at my pastoral care teacher. He's doing a great guy, or whoever. But it was based on your estimated results, and they said I wouldn't get an A.
And did you?
Yes.
Oh, well then that is fucked up.
Yeah. And then guess who?
Stop poking my record.
Okay, stop touching it. I've been licking my fingers a lot. Went back to. I love going back to unis that I didn't get into. Do stand up at them, and go, look, you can be paid £175 in 3 years to die in your arse in front of posh children. You think you've beat me? I'm winning.
It actually reminds me, I didn't get into RADA, the drama school, purely by notion of the fact that I never auditioned for them.
You kidding? They did that too?
Yeah, it's fucked up, isn't
Fucking
it?
rats, man. And that's why we use our platform to challenge fucking orthodoxies and shit.
Have I done a comedy gig at RADA? No.
Why not?
Don't do it. It's never happened. Probably has. I've not been asked again.
Yeah.
Her name was Eunice, but she took a job when she was in New York after failing to get into Curtis, playing just piano at a sort of like late night dive bar. She changed her name to Nina Simone because she was playing like jazz and pop songs.
Dirty devil music.
Yeah, her mother called it the devil's music. So she changed her name to Nina Simone, and then one night the owner of the dive bar was like, if you sang, I'd pay you more. And she'd never sang before, but was like, listen, $90 a week? Yes, please. So then that's how she started singing. And then she was picked up, basically, and she released I Loves You, Porgy. Porgy and
Yeah,
Bess.
there's a clip in the film of her playing that at Hugh Hefner's Playboy Mansion.
It's wild, isn't it? It's black and white, and the young Hugh Hefner sort of standing there swilling a glass like, welcome to Hugh Hefner's mansion with me, Hugh Hefner, the Playboy penthouse.
But he isn't like a husk yet.
Yeah,
He's not like an old,
That's it.
Viagra survival freak, just running on sheer boner pills.
Anyone our age will only ever have seen that fucking just completely, oh my God, a man who has come out his entire existence.
He's just cumless.
He's just... That is what fucking... We talk about what zero pussy does to a motherfucker.
He's
He's
what
like...
100% pussy does to a motherfucker.
He's the complete opposite.
Yeah. What coming non-stop for 60 years does to a motherfucker. It makes you an old raisin boy.
But this is
Hugh Hefner, you freak.
This is Hugh Hefner pre the raisin years.
Yeah.
And
he's just a grape.
Yeah. I would have been, I think, 28 when I learned that grapes and raisins are the same thing.
Comes a time in every boy's life when he has to figure that one out.
So what the fuck? Idris Elba. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? That was me eating a grape. Someone told me, you know that's a fucking raisin as well. What the fuck,
The
man?
screen went all shaky and bloody and you coughed it up.
So she had a hit with that Porgy, I Loves You, Porgy.
I always thought it was, sorry to interrupt you, I'm not actually sorry, but I always thought it was so interesting that when you see a footage of somebody like that back then, like before they've had all their hits, and they're like playing their new song, Porgy. We're all really excited to hear Porgy. And you're like, I've never heard of Porgy.
You've heard of Porgy and Bess, though? The musical?
I've heard of Porgy Pig. What do you mean Porgy and Bess, though, the musical?
No, not Besto. I said though. You've heard of Porgy and Bess, though, haven't you? No, I'm assuming
What is
no.
that?
It's a musical.
By who?
I think it's by Roger and Hammerstein.
I'm a Sondheim guy. I don't know.
Okay.
Obviously, he learned from those boys, but
Anyway, but Nina Simone was a big fan of musicals and covered a lot of songs for musicals. I mean, I'm sure
don't touch my phone.
I'm sure that yeah, there you go. Feeling Good is from the musical The Roar of the Grease Paint.
Roar of Grease Paint, something of the crowd.
Well, that's it. That's the joke on there. So yeah, and that's also So Beautiful Land from this. It's from The Roar of Grease Paint. So she was big into musicals, and yeah, in that clip she was like, "Are you guys who want to hear Porgy?" And it was like, "Hell yeah, I'd love to."
Sure thing, sister.
Yeah, but give it up for Nina Simone. Jules
Sure
Holland's
thing,
there.
chick.
And so that song was a big hit, and then she released Little Girl Blues, and this was like the start of people basically taking full advantage of Nina Simone. She got paid $3,000 for Little Girl Blue, which would then go on to make, through its various iterations over the years, over $1 million, which she saw none of. Yeah.
People really, I mean, still is like nobody's making money out of music now.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody's ever made money out of it. So people talk about like the classic record industry. It's like no one's ever made money out of this.
I mean, your Nina Simone's didn't make money out of it, but the record guys were making.
Yeah,
they were pocketing,
and they're still making money because they're got shares in Spotify. Tell you who doesn't have shares in Spotify? Singers and bands.
I've been thinking of ditching Spotify and going over to Tidal.
Why?
Because apparently it gives the artist a better rate.
Fraction.
Is it not much better?
More. No, and you don't get all this stuff. Remember, Tidal used to be, you can only listen to the new Jay-Z album, you can only listen to the new Beyonce album on Tidal, and then they went, no. Really, what you want to do is do a streaming service, live your easy life, but support bands directly on Bandcamp. That's the most Bandcamp Friday, so I think it's once a month on a Friday. All the money goes to the artist.
Or by purchasing records.
Purchasing records for dead people.
Or going to see them live. Well, it goes to
You're going to go see Nina Simone live? She's dead. Spoiler if you haven't seen the film.
Well, there's the other film called Nina, which did actually come out. And it wasn't with who was it who said Mary J. Blige. It ended up going. Now, have you heard of Zoe Saldana?
Yeah, what's she in? She's in something. She's in Euphoria or something.
Zoe Saldana was in Avatar, Avengers Endgame, and Avengers Infinity War, right? She didn't have big roles.
She was the blue girl in Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's Avatar. She was a blue girl.
She's blue in the Avengers as well.
She's in a lot of like sci-fi movies, but because she's in both Avatar and Avengers, it has made her, by proxy, the second highest grossing film actress of all time.
Yeah, who's number one?
I don't know, but the point is like I've never even fucking heard of this girl.
You don't like big films like that. What do you feel about the fact that when Avengers 1 got re-released in cinemas, they included the bit where they put their genitals into each other? Do you know the thing? All Avatar people have these like...
You mean Avatar? You said Avengers, right?
Oh yeah, Avatar, sorry.
Right.
In Avatar, they've got these... Shut up, Ian, laughing in the corner. See, in Avatar... So it's confusing. It's confusing.
There's another Avatar as well as the anime. So I do think the name Avatar is stupid for the movie
crazy.
Avatar.
And also, it's what you used to have on message boards next to your name.
Well, it still is that. You still have your Avatar.
No one's on message boards anymore.
No, but your profile
Except
picture
me
is
on the Avatar message boards.
Your essentially your whole online presence is an avatar of yourself.
Ain't that just the truth?
Anyway, what did I think of?
So in Avatar,
Right.
everybody, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Everybody has these like ponytails that are also your tail, that are also your genitals.
Yeah.
And you can jump onto a dragon, put your genitals in their genitals, take them over, fly them about.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also what you use to have sex. So there's a scene in the original Avatar where they meet up in the forest near the mother tree, and they put their it's like romantic.
Right.
But when they put it on Disney Plus, they took out the sensual. And honestly, I've seen this in the pictures recently, and it was very sleepy. It was hot.
Yeah. And they took that out of the Disney version.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Do you think that's just part of the fucking fuckification of culture?
Basically, I mean, that is a whole thing. That, like, if you compare the amount of like sex scenes from movies in the 90s to movies now, like, we live in a pretty sexless monoculture. You hardly ever see fucking in films anymore.
It's disgraceful.
Unless it's the kind of films that I make.
Really?
No.
You make homemade pornography?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Don't say that. Sex work is work. You should respect it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So anyway, they were going to make this film about Nina's, but they made a biopic of
with
Nina
the
Simone
second highest gross
called Nina, Zoe Saldana, and there was controversy because Zoe Saldana is sort of mixed race African Latino, right? So she is black, but she is fairly light skinned black, whereas Nina Simone had very dark skin.
What's your take on that?
Well, she also wore a prosthetic nose because, so there was lots of people, including Nina Simone's. Nina Simone's daughter was like, "This is fucked up, man. just get like the whole thing with Nina Simone is that she was constantly, disregarded and turned away from places for being, a black woman. Mm-hmm. So you should have a black woman playing her, and at the time, Zoe Saldana said that. She said there's no one version of black, was her argument. Mm-hmm. She has since, within the last year, said that it was a mistake for her to play that. And I wonder if that's anything to do with the film's 2% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
It was bad?
2% bad?
Yeah.
That's a stinky review time.
Did you read any of the reviews?
No. But
2%.
Yeah, from the highest grossing actress of all time.
And it can't just be for the prosthetics that people are getting upset. It must be.
No, I think it downplays a lot of the best things. And this is the thing with Nina Simone's history. Like, most people watching, I would assume, have heard of Nina Simone, heard some of her songs, but might not know about her civil rights activism.
That was I love the bit in the film. Basically, she's talking about how her husband was abusive, and then he was trying to make her into like a pop star. And this is a big pop record, really, this album that we're talking about. But there's a bit where, as an example of what poisoned her pop stardom chances, she's at like a civil rights movement festival. And she's doing a kind of song rant. Mm-hmm. That's a charged word. She's doing a kind of song where she's
a powerful monologue,
fully brought a black crowd, and she's talking about we need to smash Whitey.
Oh, so that's footage from the Harlem Festival from Summer of Soul.
Is that from Summer of Soul?
And right. That is a poem called I can't remember what it's called, but it is that was a poem that was inspired by Malcolm X's words saying that by any means necessary. Mm-hmm. So it's like saying, "Oh, black people, are you ready? Are you ready?" The poem's called. Yeah. Are you ready? Are you ready to smash the white man? Are you ready to kill if we need to kill? Yeah,
yeah. But it's just because the great guitar work on this album, and a wee guy who wrote two of the songs on this record is a guy called Rudy Stevenson, and he's a wee white guy with a mustache, and our full band is black, and they're all like, "Are you ready?" And it's just this wee guy. In like the traditional African garb.
Sure, I'm ready, Nina. I'll do what I gotta do.
But he's just like
he's a lovely guy. The way he speaks about Nina Simone is very sweet, I think.
He was my favourite in the film.
Yeah, he comes across really well.
Yeah. Didn't seem to be poisoning her or ruining her like everybody else in her life.
Yeah. She was a Marxist, proud Marxist. You don't really hear about that. She lived next door to Malcolm X, and they were good friends. And she said she was great friends with a playwright called Lorraine Hansberry. And she said about when on her relationship with her, we never talked about men or clothes. It was always Marx, Lenin, and revolution. Real girls talk. And I saw this quote being furiously picked apart on reddit.com. I saw someone say,
Unhinged Reddit comment of the week.
who is Nina Simone to police what women can and can't talk about? This smacks of internalized misogyny. Isn't that the fucking stupidest thing you've ever heard?
Yeah. It's up there. As someone who cannot stop sucking Santa's cock, that is the stupidest thing I've heard in a long time.
But yeah, I mean, the movie's great. It's a very sad. She had a very sad end of life. She saw so little money from all the records that she made, and really was like
she was like penniless, working in a jazz bar in fucking Sweden or something, wasn't she?
Yeah,
Amsterdam, I don't know.
and you know, musically, like absolutely incredible the way she blended classical piano with cocktail jazz. And pop on this album, particularly on pop ballads,
Blues as well. There's that blues song as well.
managed to bring them together like seamlessly. I've got a quote from Miles Davis, I just want to say, which is Miles Davis was deeply impressed by her ability to play 3-part counterpoint, which means her 2 hands on the piano and her voice, each providing a separate but complementary melody line. So when you think about trying to tap your head and rub your tummy, and how can you do that? Are you good at that? Chris is attempting to do this for the audio, and he's managing it fine. Okay, so that's 2 counterparts. Now add in a third of singing in the way that Nina Simone sings, which her voice, for someone, her voice, she wasn't trained, but it's amazing.
If you could live your life again, what would you do?
What do you mean? Where does that come from?
I think.
I'm trying to talk about the difficulty of singing whilst playing 2 separate piano melodies.
Well, that's what I'm saying,
hands.
because I can rub my belly and tap my head.
Yeah.
I wish I became a drummer when I was younger.
Is that all you need to do that? I can do that.
Pretty much, isn't it?
Any drummers watching offended by that?
They're all too stupid to figure out how YouTube works.
Drummers do get a bad rap, don't they?
Because there's literally idiots who hit things.
Yeah. Of the few drummers I know, I nearly said dummers there, which would have been correct.
Drummer and
That's
dumber.
what I'm going to start calling them from now on.
Yeah.
Fucking dummers.
Idiots, except the guy who played drums in this, because he's class.
Yeah, so this album, it is poppy, isn't it? But not poppy by today's
12
standards.
songs, 34 minutes.
Yes.
Woohoo!
This was in a period where she released, I think, 10 albums in 3 years. They were just
That's
fucking
wild, mate.
churning them out.
Well, her abusive husband was making her work every day.
Fucking go.
She was like, I just want to have one day off. But he was just A, kicking fuck out of her, and B, making her work all the time.
There's that really heartbreaking bit in the film where she's saying, and if I don't work, these like 8 or 9 people don't get paid. You think they care if I'm tired? I'm just fucking tired. Which, yeah, I mean, that's, I feel you, Nina. Sometimes I'm tired.
You have 10 people working for you and a husband who beats you up? No.
Not always.
Never?
Sure. Sure. If you see things that way, that's fine. Let's talk about the album.
All right.
I
put a spell on you.
It starts with that. Have you heard the Screaming Jay Hawkins version of that?
I put a spell on you.
Yeah, it's the one that sort of gets bust out at Halloween.
Yeah.
And it's like a funny... you're like, I know why you call it howling or screaming Jay Hawkins, because you scream.
Howling Joe Hawkins, man.
That's the tribute act.
That's what they call him.
Screaming Jay Hawkins.
What do you think about some stuff like that? Like, I saw this on a playlist of Halloween music, and I was like, it's not like a witch. It's not like witch stuff. It's like witch stuff, but it's like, it's a different type of magic.
Well, this is the thing about... So none of these songs are Nina Simone originals.
No.
But I think like just saying that these are like covers almost does a disservice to like how much Nina Simone is in them. Like she really like rips apart songs, and so listening to this next to the Screaming Jay Hawkins one, they sound like different songs. And the Screaming Jay Hawkins one is like this funny, and he used to dress as a fucking like warlock or something when he sang this.
I think he had like a Native American headdress on, didn't he?
They used to put him in fucking
I might be
funky
thinking
clothes.
about the
Like
wrestler,
Village People. You think about the Village People.
Chief
I put a spell on you. Spell I'll put a spell on you. So his version is like this funny, like, oh, I'm gonna curse you for fucking seeing someone else, haha. But when Nina sings it, it's like painful. Mm-hmm. It's like, I curse you for making me feel this way.
I was reading a criticism of her voice. Not a criticism, but it was just saying how, like, so Ariana Grande and, like, Christina Aguilera, they have, like, a vocal range of, like, 4 octaves. And Taylor Swift has a more limited range. She has, like, a 2-octave range. She has, like, 1.5, Nina Simone. She can't actually go a lot of places in terms of the notes, but just the kind of texture of her voice and like the emotion that goes into it is very powerful.
There's no one else really that sounds like Nina Simone. When you listen to it, the closest that I can sometimes hear is Anoni from Aunt Nina Johnson's, where sometimes when it's that way where they sing and it sounds like they're crying. Mm-hmm. So it sounds like their voice is crying is the best way I can put it. And you hear that in "I put a spell on you," and she starts in that song, which does throughout the album, which is go somehow seamlessly between singing words and scatting. Mm-hmm. Put a spell on you.
Yeah, but it's not cringe.
But not as bad as that. Yeah, I'm not Nina Simone. Sorry, everybody. I don't have Nina Simone's raw natural talent when it comes to mixing vocals and scatting. Thanks for the criticism. Just trying to show people what I mean.
It's good. You should keep trying. Yeah, I liked it. I liked the blues song, Gimme Some. I liked all of it, really. Taking Care of Business. I saw a sign recently, I think in Edinburgh, and it said TBC with a lightning bolt. But I always when I see those, I thought it was like, you know, when Elvis has the logo and it says TCB, Taking Care of Business. Right. And I saw a sign that said TBC and my brain went, Taking Better Business.
I'm taking better business. You've got the song Tomorrow Is My Turn, the second song.
Heartbreaking.
It sounds like James Bond. Do you know a bit more?
Oh, I have a bit about that.
Really?
Yeah. Because
it has that, right? Did you Google it?
Yeah.
So did I.
This was a question. Did you get the question?
I found a Twitter thread of just people. Someone had said this bit sounds like the Bond, and then every reply was going, I found this tweet 2 years later after Googling that exact thing.
Oh, here's a more detailed response. Someone said, I was listening to Nina Simone's song Tomorrow Is My Turn, released in 1965, and came across a section that sounded virtually identical to the iconic James Bond theme from the 1962 movie, which you can hear in Shirley Bassey's version of Goldfinger. Both are heavily jazz influenced, and it's incredibly unlikely that two songs made just 3 years apart happen to have the same notes. Did Nina Simone get the notes from James Bond? Or was it the other way around? Or did something else happen? Don't see how it could be anything but those two things. And someone responded, they said, however, the borrowed bit is actually from the main James Bond theme, not from Shirley Bassey's Goldfinger specifically, first used in Dr. No in 1962, the one we all know and love. This was written by Monty Norman, who was employed to write the soundtrack for the first Bond movie. He was later replaced by John Barry, who scored the arrangement we now know so well. Barry claimed he wrote it, not Norman. This resulted in 2 court libel cases, both of which Norman won.
So we're no nearer to an answer.
We're no nearer. I think it's just a...
Well, thank you for reading that entire thing out for no reason. Then that's good.
There was a reason. What an incredible world we live in, where so many interesting things happen and people remember them and say them.
Yeah, but there is Bond vibes to some Nina Simone. Like Nina Simone, if you found out that Nina Simone have recorded the Bond theme, you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't have... what was that criticism? It's that thing in the film of like, she could have been a huge pop star, but she was too busy reading... Not too busy. She was reading Karl Marx, and she was an agitator.
Songs. Yeah,
it's insane that she didn't get assassinated.
There's a compilation of all her political songs, and here's the thing with Nina Simone albums is that like this is probably not the best catalog of. It's not the best representation of Nina Simone because there's no songs written by her, and there's none of her political stuff. But because she released about 50 albums, all of those songs are scattered amongst different things. So there's a compilation called Still Young, Gifted and Black, I think it's called, which has all of her political music, which has Strange Fruit on it, which is one of the saddest songs ever written. It's taken from a poem about like the hangings of black men.
Yeah. Strange fruit.
Yeah.
Blowing in the southern breeze. That's very sad. I heard it in Kanye West's Blood on the Leaves, where he runs it through auto-tune.
I think that was the point when we should have cut off Kanye West.
After Jesus? Or during Jesus?
I don't know what happened when. I don't know Kanye's chronology.
Blood on the Leaves. Jesus. He was a fucking troll recently, if you ask me. But yeah, that was Jesus. That was like right after my Dark Beautiful Twisted Fantasy and the good music stuff. And then after that, it was like Saint Pablo. Then after that, that's when it really broke down and he started getting a wee bit too.
Well, the clues were there when you run Nina Simone's amazing voice through an auto-tune machine. There's something fucking wrong with your head, man.
I think it's cool to do that. I think it's kind of heretical.
Yeah, I think it's heretical, but in a bad way.
Okay, I like it when people go up against Christ.
Yeah, so that album is good. I would say though that this is a really good entry point for Nina Simone. If you've only heard like a few songs here and there, then I Put a Spell on You, Nina Simone, is a great introduction to her voice and her playing. 6 months after this, she released Pastel Blues, which is Nina Simone sings the blues basically, and that has Cinnamon on it, which is a fucking 11-minute epic. Amazing. It's in
a lot of adverts, that song.
Yeah.
What's your favourite Nina Simone advert that she's been in?
Apple. Did you do an Apple advert with the Pixies?
With the Pixies?
Yeah.
That was a funny thing because you were having a go at the Pixies for letting their song, what was it, Where's My Mind? Or Wave of Mutilation?
No. It was, I can't remember, but it wasn't one of the
You were having
songs.
a go at them for letting the song be used by Apple
for
their iPod advert.
Yep.
So what are you going to say to her?
Okay, so
the advert she's been in?
I'll tell you the difference if you're being serious. Okay.
Because I don't know if you've seen the film. You did see the film.
Yep.
But there is a bit where she talks about her career getting revitalized by being in Chanel No. 5.
So that is the difference. The Pixies handing over one of their songs to the Apple in 2015 when the Pixies are all millionaires. It's not the same as Nina Simone.
You think the Pixies were millionaires in 2003?
2015 for that Apple advert. And yes, they were. Anyway, the Pixies are fine. They don't need more money, right? Nina Simone was living destitute, earning $300 a month, playing a fucking shitty jazz club in France. And then someone comes along and went, hey, do you want to make all this go away? Oh, by the way, also you've been suffering terrible mental health problems for the last years and been abandoned by your industry and your family. But we can make you £1 million to go live out the best years of your life. Absolutely fine.
I think you're a hypocrite.
She gave everything away for the good of civil rights. She put a career on the line by singing Mississippi Goddamn.
I hadn't heard that until I watched this film last night, and that song fucking absolutely rips. It's about like the bombing of a church in Alabama, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was it racists who did it or the police? I know that's the same thing.
Yeah. It was a well, I don't think they found the people who did it, but it was that led to the Selma March, which she performed at.
Yeah.
And so
it's like a jaunty, upbeat musical number about like attempted genocide of the Black America, but it's like class.
Here's the order. Listen to I Put a Spell on You by Nina Simone. Then go to Pastel Blues. And then go to, if you really want to dig deep and reap the rewards, then find the compilation Young, Gifted and Black, which also has the song Young, Gifted and Black, which was covered by Aretha Franklin. That's a good 3 albums worth of like shit hot, great, full spectrum Nina Simone stuff. Anything else you want to say about this album in particular?
My favourite Nina Simone advert is
Okay.
Audi A4. I don't know if you remember this. There's an old man who moonwalks in it. That might ring a few bells.
Right.
It's in a wee town. And it's just like, got no one, got no legs, got
Oh,
no
yeah.
window, got my legs, got my liver, I got my life.
And that's quite a political song as well. Because
that's about slavery.
Yeah, so I have nothing except my body.
And then Audi used it to sell the Audi A4, which isn't even my favourite Audi.
I don't think cars should be named after paper sizes anyway.
Audi, well, yeah. It's not A4.
Yeah.
I tried putting it in my printer and it broke. Broke my printer when I put that card in it. What's your favourite advert song? I love Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
I remember the Velvet Underground
hey.
for a car advert had a I'm sticking with you because I'm made out of glue. That's a Velvet Underground song.
It?
That was in a car advert, yeah.
I don't know
Well, now you do.
that.
Also, you got famous advert song I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Justin Timberlake.
Is that a Nina Simone number? I'm loving it because you're mine.
I think it's Gimme Some. I think is the one where you say
Very bluesy, isn't it?
yeah. I mean, you do have a little taste of things to
Marriage is
come.
for old folks. Very funny as well. She's kind of slagging off married people.
That's from the musical The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Marriage is for old folks, cold folks, not for me. I don't like that song particularly.
She find it because you feel like she's having a go at you.
Well, first off, her own experience with marriage is really dark.
So you can tell why she's against it.
But also, it's just like, it doesn't really feel like a Nina number. It's a bit too light,
Well, I love that because she was quite funny in a lot of these songs.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really think of her as a funny person. You think of her as quite a stark, but there's such a humanity to her that's so three-dimensional. She's not like a lot of singers. You can kind of just go, that's what they're like.
Mm-hmm.
But it's impossible to kind of sum her up in at all. She's so porous.
Yeah. And
that's the right
I would
word.
also recommend just watching some live performances, like the Montreux Jazz Festival, to really, because I think part of the enigma of Nina Simone is her live performances of it really is like watching a sermon or something. It is a spiritual experience. They're really, really special.
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about this. Did you enjoy an album?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I own it. Of course
You
I
own
did.
it.
I'm glad. But you know what? I really was happy to dig deeper to find a bunch of stuff that I hadn't. Do not take it out of its sleeve.
No.
I will fucking murder you.
Right. But maybe a stupid question, but sometimes we do the Bob shop test. If you found this record in a shop, would you buy it?
You mean a record that I found in the shop and bought?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
I bought it in the HMV in Glasgow, actually.
Oh,
When I
what
was... the one,
Argyle Street?
I think so. It was when I was doing Wild Cabaret on a Sunday, and you used to do a family show at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and then an evening show at 7 o'clock. So you had 4 hours to kill.
Jesus.
And I went and I bought...
Sure you spent some time in the H&M down there too, huh?
I don't know. I don't think I did.
Great H&M.
Okay. Is there much difference between H&Ms?
Just, come on. Just, can you keep a hold of your phone? You ruined my great H&M idea. That was going to be the riff of all riffs.
Look, I love the album and I'm happy to listen to it. I was really glad for this episode to dig deeper and to find some songs of hers that I hadn't heard before. Some other compilations, to rewatch that film. Film's highly recommended.
Yeah, check out the film. I love Netflix as a company.
Yep.
They're great.
We would like to be sponsored by them.
By the way, I think I told you over the phone, but...
Don't say this on the pod.
Okay.
Chris was about to say out loud his love for a rival company that do not sponsor us over the one that
They could.
do.
I was talking to her about it.
Actually? We'll talk about this
We're
later.
not talking about it. So.
Did you enjoy an album?
Yeah, I did. I like it. I like Nina Simone a lot. I think she's an amazing singer. I think she's an amazing person. I think she's fucking, she lived by the sword, and then she died by the sword, and then a perfume advert resurrected her, and then she died by the sword again.
Yep.
Just an incredible artist, like a true artist, and like a unique artist.
Last thing I'll say, I think
Do the dream sleeves?
no, because it's not. This is the thing. It's not like an album like the classic, like a concept album, is it? It's just a very simple picture of her. It's a nice. Do you know what I mean? It's simple. Like the album.
The album cover, I think it's beautiful. I love it when they have shit like this. Like, here's the company who made it. Phillips and little Olympic rings and stuff.
I think her. Like, it'd be silly to say that her talent is not recognised. It obviously is, and there's lots of documentaries and lots to be written about her. But like people of her time, Bob Dylan or whatever,
This dicks on Dylan, if you ask me.
Well,
To quote the Tower of London.
you know, I just wonder if if a white man with this talent, like, think about how amazing she had to be at the time she was amazing to get where she was, considering the racism and sexism of the time, to be the I think it was the first black woman to play Carnegie Hall. You know, think about how incredible you have to be to break through those things. And if a guy with half that talent was around, then he would be spoken about today. Still, with more respect and popularity than she is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I have to say on the matter.
Wow.
This dick's on Dylan.
This dicks on Dylan.
We should do a Dylan
Fuck
episode, though.
We're going to do Dylan season.
Dylan season on the Patreon coming
When
soon.
that happens. What was I going to say? I was going to say every week we do the Enjoy an Album playlist. You can check that out on Spotify and also Apple Music. We add on 2 songs a piece, one from the record each, and then one inspired by our conversation. What are you going to choose?
I am going to add. I think we should probably put "Feeling Good" on there, right? It is
By Muse?
No.
By Michael Bublé?
No.
Oh.
From Nina Simone, I put "A Spell on You." We should probably put "Feeling Good" on there, right? Do you think?
Let's just do that then.
Okay, and then what are we thinking for a second one?
Wait, what? A second?
I love.
Yeah, well, them two. Put a spell on you and.
Oh, put a spell on you and feeling
Feeling
good. And then we also put on a song inspired by our conversation. Which song would you like to put on?
All right, so I was doing it. There's a great article on the internet. I think it's Stereotype who done it, and it was 21 covers of "Please Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood," which she wrote.
Yes.
And it goes song by song, all the covers.
I love the version that's in Kill Bill. Is that what you can put
That's
on?
what I'm going to put on.
I love
the
that.
Kill Bill version. What's it? Oh, where's my phone? I was just listening to it on the way here. I never knew it was that song because in the film it's when the bride is going up against Lucy Liu's character.
Yeah.
They're having a samurai showdown in Tokyo behind the crazy 88's jazz bar where the 5, 6, 7, 8s are doing a live performance with their feet out. Fair enough, Quentin. And, I know what gets you hard. God hope Santa doesn't share his proclivities or I'll be getting my little toesies out for his delegation. But it's like... It's like that.
It's great. You know what I love about that version is that it's... You know what? That and the Nina Simone version and is it the Monkeys original version?
The Animals.
The Animals, sorry.
But monkeys...
Which is a type of monkey, animal.
Yes, monkeys are a type of monkey. You're quite right.
Ain't no one gonna fucking get me on that one.
Can't argue with that, brother.
Come for me, snowflakes.
Listen, you wokenistas.
But anyway, that's a good song. There's so many different versions that really, I think, are good examples of when the way to cover a song.
It's a 10-minute flamenco disco hard rock fusion, and it makes my nips go.
I'm going to put on "Young, Gifted and Black" by Nina Simone because it's an amazing song, and I want to push the political of Nina Simone a bit more in this modern era that we live in.
I loved Mississippi Goddamn when I heard that.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is fucking killer.
Well, check out the political compilation, Young, Gifted and Black.
I'm not going to do it.
Okay. Who are we covering next week on Enjoy an Album? Christopher cannot remember.
Next week, we're listening to Lift Your Skinny... Is that right?
I don't know. It's your job.
I know it's my job.
Okay. Join us next week when we'll be listening to another album.
Lift Your Skinny Fists to the Sky by...
To heaven. To heaven.
Shit. Next week, we're listening to...
Is it definitely this?
I could check this.
No, let's just... Next week...
Spreadsheet. It's hard to... It's a Google Drive, so it's hard to get in the folder.
Next week, we're listening to another album on Enjoy an Album.
Next week, we're listening to Lift Your Skinny Fists to the Heavens.
No, to heaven.
Next week, we're listening to Lift Your Finny Skists to Shivan.
By Godspeed, you Black Emperor. We think. It might not be
Godspeed
that.
you, Black Emperor.
Godspeed
like
you, Black Emperor.
Yeah, Mr. Potter and It's a Wonderful Life. Godspeed you, Black Emperor. In jail to you the same.
Thank you for listening. Go check out Nina Simone if you are not already familiar.
If you're not Simone Poe, check it out.
Other than that, enjoy your week.
This has been me, Liam, and producer Ian, bidding you adieu.
Adieu.
Peace and love in the new millennium.
Adieu, you, dear listener.
Adieu, you the same.